The desert air bites, carrying fine dust as you stand before the Great Pyramid's north face. Pre-dawn light washes the ancient limestone in hues of steel and bruised violet. Your gloved fingers find the seam between two colossal blocks, perfectly dressed, weighing tens of tons each. No mortar, no gap. The sheer, impossible scale dwarfs you, pressing silence into the dawn. Above, the angles climb with an unwavering precision, meeting at an unseen apex that once caught the very first light of creation. It's a monument to an audacity that defies logic, a silent question carved in stone. How? Hold that image. Feel the cold stone beneath your hand, the weight of millennia pressing down. This is where our story begins, a journey not just through space, but through the profound depths of human ingenuity and forgotten knowledge. Wherever you're listening tonight, London, Los Angeles, a quiet room in Lagos, or perhaps a camper van under a starlit desert sky, welcome. Welcome to Sapiens Untold. We delve into the enigmas of our past, the architecture that shouldn't be, and the questions that reshape what we think we know. Where are you listening from tonight? And what time is it where you are as we explore these ancient echoes? Settle in, get comfortable, dim the lights if you can, and let your mind drift through the sands of time. If mysteries like this pull at you the way they pull at me, hit like and subscribe to join our community. Now let's return to that impossible geometry, that unwavering stone face at Giza. You run your gaze up the precision-cut blocks, noting how some align with a cardinal north, so true it challenges modern instruments. Accurate to within 3/60ths of a single degree. Archaeological evidence shows this colossal structure, the Great Pyramid of Giza, arose around 2560 BCE, a feat of engineering and astronomical mastery. Yet thousands of miles away, across oceans and millennia, completely independent cultures would choose this identical, monumental form. Mesoamerican pyramids, like Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun, 100 CE, or Peru's Corral, 3000 BCE, contemporary with Egypt's Old Kingdom, demonstrate this remarkable architectural convergence. No evidence of contact exists yet. These isolated civilizations independently pursued the pyramid. Why did this shape, this aspiration towards heaven, emerge repeatedly? This undeniable pattern presents a profound mystery, a universal human impulse to build, or a forgotten connection between our ancestors. The sun climbs higher now, warming the ancient desert, but your mind drifts far from Giza, across continents and forgotten ages. Imagine the fertile crescent of Mesopotamia, 3,000 years before the Common Era. You stand at the base of a towering ziggurat, a stepped pyramid of mud brick, its colossal form an artificial mountain reaching for the heavens. Archaeological evidence shows these ziggurats, like the Etemenanki in Babylon, dated to roughly 3000 BCE, served as temple platforms connecting the earthly realm with the divine, a purpose remarkably similar to those of Egypt. Independent dating confirms their emergence without known contact. Now, shift your gaze across a vast ocean to the heart of Mesoamerica. You walk the broad avenue of the dead at Teotihuacan, feeling the sheer weight of the Pyramid of the Sun rising before you, its red ochre surface baked by the 100 CE sun. Further south, the intricate stone of Mayan pyramids pierce the jungle canopy, structures dated centuries later. Yet here too, you find precise astronomical alignments, tracking solstices and equinoxes, mirroring the celestial interests woven into the Great Pyramid. No evidence of contact existed between these distant cultures, yet the parallels are striking. Monumental scale, cardinal orientation, and a profound connection to the cosmos. Carbon dating and stratigraphic analysis further reveal other independent pyramid builders. In Peru, at Caral, the oldest city in the Americas, stepped pyramids date to 3000 BCE, contemporary with Egypt's Old Kingdom. These South American structures prove pyramid building emerged independently, thousands of years before the Maya. Even in China, near Xi'an, vast earth mounds house imperial tombs, forming pyramidal structures of immense scale. In Sudan, over 200 Nubian pyramids, steeper and more numerous than their Egyptian counterparts, stand as a testament to another distinct cultural expression of this universal form. Why this remarkable architectural convergence? Mainstream archaeology points to practical architectural logic. The pyramid is an inherently stable structure, difficult to topple, allowing for impressive heights with relatively primitive technology. Its broad base effectively distributes weight, a shape that naturally emerges from stacking stones. It's an architecturally efficient solution that different cultures independently discovered, solving the same problem: how to build monumentally tall structures with available materials and labor. Yet the precision, the astronomical knowledge, and the shared religious significance across isolated cultures continue to inspire a deeper wonder, a quiet question echoing through the stone. The chill of dawn still clings to the massive stones of the Avenue of the Dead. Before you, the Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan rises, a monumental presence painted in the faded red ochre of centuries. A profound silence seems to emanate from the ancient city as the first rays of light creep over the distant mountains, beginning their slow march across the vast plaza. You can feel the weight of its antiquity, a structure that emerged in Central America with no known contact to the builders of Giza or the Mesopotamian ziggurats. This colossal pyramid, dated to roughly 100 CE, along with its Mesoamerican counterparts like the intricate Mayan temples, stands as undeniable proof of independent invention. Archaeological dating, through carbon dating and artifact analysis, confirms that these civilizations developed their monumental architecture in isolation. Yet, as the sun ascends, you notice its precise alignment, a deliberate echo of celestial events, solstices, equinoxes, specific star positions, just as you witnessed in Egypt. The astronomical knowledge encoded in its architecture, the sheer scale demanding sophisticated organization and mathematical precision, these parallels seem too specific to be mere chance, despite zero evidence of contact. Mainstream archaeology explains this remarkable architectural convergence through practical architectural logic. The pyramid form, with its broad, stable base and upward tapering sides, is an inherently practical and efficient way to achieve monumental height using relatively primitive technology. It's a shape that naturally emerges from stacking stone or mud brick, distributing weight effectively. Different cultures, observing the same celestial patterns and driven by similar desires to honor gods or bury elites, independently arrived at this universal engineering solution. Just as different ancient cultures independently invented the wheel or developed agriculture, they independently discovered the pyramid. All humans observe the same sun, moon, and stars, leading to similar astronomical interests. All early civilizations faced similar challenges: how to demonstrate power, organize labor, and connect the earthly realm with the divine. The pyramid, whether stepped like the ziggurats and many Mesoamerican examples, or smooth-sided like Giza, is a logical answer, an architecturally efficient solution that multiple cultures independently discovered. Yet, as you feel the massive stones warming under the rising sun, a subtle tension remains. The sheer, deliberate precision of these alignments, the mathematical constants sometimes woven into their very fabric, makes you wonder if it's merely architectural logic, or if something deeper, more profound was at play. The air at Teotihuacan has a distinct dryness, even as the last of the morning mist burns off the pyramid of the sun. You descend into a smaller chamber within the colossal structure, the air growing cooler, carrying the scent of ancient earth. Your headlamp beam sweeps across an inner layer of construction, revealing something unexpected beneath the rough volcanic stone. Embedded sheets of mica, a mineral with a distinctive, shimmering, almost translucent quality. Archaeological evidence shows this mica, discovered in significant quantities within the Pyramid of the Sun, did not originate in Mesoamerica. Its geological signature points thousands of miles south to vast deposits in what is now Brazil. Independent dating confirms the pyramid's construction around 100 CE, placing its creation firmly within a distinct Mesoamerican timeline, with no known contact to South America, let alone the distant Old World pyramid builders. Yet here it lies, transported and painstakingly integrated into the core of this monumental structure. The sheer effort required to mine, transport, and incorporate this heavy, fragile material from such a staggering distance presents a profound puzzle. Mainstream archaeology often suggests its use was purely decorative, valued for its glittering appearance, or imbued with symbolic, religious significance, a precious material connecting earth and sky. It speaks to a powerful, organized civilization capable of orchestrating immense, long-distance trade or expeditions. But the precise placement, not just as a superficial coating, but as an integral layer, prompts a deeper question about its true function. Consider the precision mystery once more. Just as the Great Pyramid stones are fitted with impossible accuracy, the deliberate inclusion of mica, known for its excellent electrical insulating properties and resistance to heat, hints at a knowledge beyond simple aesthetic or ritualistic intent. This unexplained precision in material selection, much like the precise astronomical alignments found in both Egyptian and Mesoamerican pyramids, suggests a sophisticated understanding of the world. Could this indicate a lost advanced knowledge, or perhaps an unknown practical application for these structures that we are only now beginning to fathom? Alternative theories propose that such demanding construction and specialized material use point to either an advanced prehistoric society or an ancient global maritime culture that shared sophisticated understanding across continents. The mica, glittering faintly in the artificial light, holds its silent secrets, adding another layer to the enigma of these global monuments. Its presence here challenges our assumptions about ancient capabilities and the true purpose behind their monumental aspirations, extending the mystery beyond mere form. The mist hangs heavy in the Bosnian Valley, clinging to the emerald slopes of what appear to be natural hills. The air is cool and damp, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. You stand at the base of one such hill, Visotita, often called the Pyramid of the Sun. From a distance, it blends seamlessly with the landscape, a verdant hummock sculpted by time. But as you draw closer, a subtle geometric regularity begins to assert itself through the foliage, a sense of something too deliberate to be entirely natural. This site, unlike the well-documented pyramids of Egypt or Mesoamerica, remains shrouded in profound controversy. Mainstream archaeology largely maintains that these are natural geological formations shaped by millennia of tectonic activity and erosion. Yet, beneath the layers of soil and vegetation, unconventional excavations have revealed features that defy simple explanation. You feel the cool, surprisingly smooth surface of a precisely cut stone block, unearthed from deep within the hill. It's a conglomerate, a man-made material according to analysis, cemented with ancient binders. Archaeological evidence, in the form of independent dating of organic material found within associated tunnels here, has suggested ages stretching back over 30,000 years, pushing back human monumental construction far beyond established timelines. No evidence of contact with any known ancient civilization exists, yet if these dates are correct, it would imply a civilization existing here in the last ice age, an era we conventionally associate with nomadic hunter-gatherers, not monumental builders. The implications for the global pyramid phenomenon are staggering. These claims ignite a fierce debate. If these are indeed artificial pyramids, their scale and purported age challenge the conventional narrative of independent invention, pushing us to consider a more ancient, perhaps lost knowledge that spread across the globe. Could the Bosnian structures be evidence of a forgotten civilization that predates even the Egyptian and Mesopotamian achievements, an ancient global culture whose knowledge of monumental building and astronomical alignment was later rediscovered by others? Mainstream archaeology, while acknowledging the intrigue, rejects such claims as lacking conclusive scientific evidence, insisting on robust peer-reviewed studies. However, for those who explore alternative history hypotheses, the Bosnian hills whisper of a past far deeper, a pattern of construction echoing around the world, hinting at connections we are only beginning to fathom. The sheer mystery embedded in these green slopes demands further investigation. The air within the excavated tunnel beneath the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is heavy, cool, and carries the distinct smell of damp earth and ancient stone. Your fingers trace the surface of a large, meticulously cut block. Unlike the natural rock around it, this material feels different, almost unnaturally smooth. It is a striking contrast to the rough geological strata of the surrounding hill, suggesting a deliberate human hand, or perhaps something even more profound. Core samples extracted from these formations, subjected to scientific analysis, have presented startling claims that fuel the controversy here. Researchers point to the composition of these blocks as a type of ancient concrete, a geopolymer concrete formed by an advanced binding technique. This is not naturally occurring rock. It appears to be a man-made conglomerate, a material whose recipe and construction methods remain lost to us. Furthermore, organic materials found embedded within these alleged construction layers have been carbon dated. Archaeological dating of these samples suggests ages exceeding 30,000 years, pushing the timeline of sophisticated human engineering back by tens of millennia. This independent dating, if definitively proven and widely accepted, directly challenges the conventional understanding of human civilization and the origins of pyramid building. No evidence of contact with cultures capable of such construction is known from that Ice Age era. If these are indeed artificial pyramids, as some researchers contend, then their builders existed at a time when humanity was thought to be primarily nomadic, without the societal organization or technological capacity for monumental architecture. Mainstream archaeology remains highly skeptical, emphasizing the lack of peer-reviewed evidence and the strong geological resemblances to natural formations. They argue the blocks are simply natural breccia, and the dating results are anomalous or misinterpreted. Yet the intriguing properties of these excavated materials and the almost perfect geometric orientation of the hills themselves to cardinal directions continue to inspire alternative theories. Some researchers propose that if these are indeed pyramids, they hint at a lost advanced civilization, perhaps even predating the Younger Dryas impact, an ancient global culture whose architectural knowledge and engineering prowess were dramatically forgotten, only to be independently reinvented by later, disconnected civilizations across the world. The stones in this dark tunnel whisper of a past far more complex than we currently grasp. The Pacific embraces you, a cold, silent blue. Your breath streams in silver bubbles as you descend, the light dimming with every meter. Then, through the shifting currents, a colossal shadow takes form. Not organic, not jagged rock. Smooth, planar surfaces, rising in distinct, immense steps from the seabed. You find closer, your gloved hand brushing against a colossal sandstone block. Its sharp angles defy the gentle erosion of the ocean, presenting geometric precision beneath thousands of years of shifting water. This is the Yonaguni Monument, off the coast of Japan, a site that plunges us into one of the deepest currents of the global pyramid mystery. Orthodox geology suggests these formations are entirely natural, shaped by fault lines and erosion, their remarkable geometry an elaborate trick of perspective. Yet, what marine archaeologists have documented here challenges that view. Precisely cut right angles, immense flat terraces, what appear to be carved stairs, and drainage channels. The sheer scale and consistent angularity across multiple features seem too deliberate for nature alone. If these stepped structures are indeed man-made, they align uncannily with the pyramid forms seen across continents, specifically the stepped pyramids of Mesoamerica or the early ziggurats of Mesopotamia. Geological evidence shows this entire region would have been above sea level at the end of the last ice age, around 8,000 to 10,000 BCE, before rising ocean levels submerged it. This independent dating, if accepted for human construction, places its potential origin far predating many known advanced civilizations, posing a profound question. Did a sophisticated culture, capable of massive stone engineering and precise architectural design, exist here thousands of years before Sumer or Egypt? No evidence of contact with other known pyramid-building cultures exists, yet the architectural ambition is undeniably shared. This submerged monument introduces the tantalizing theory of a lost advanced civilization, perhaps an ancient global maritime culture that once navigated these waters, leaving their monumental mark before a cataclysmic rise in sea levels, possibly linked to the Younger Dryas impact, erased them from our written history. Mainstream archaeology, while acknowledging the enigmatic nature of the site, largely adheres to the natural formation hypothesis due to lack of definitive artifacts. But as you hover before these silent, submerged terraces, the undeniable pattern of monumental, geometrically precise structures across the globe gains a new, even more ancient dimension. What else lies hidden beneath the waves, waiting to reshape our understanding of humanity's past? The cold current nudges you closer to the massive, flat expanse of stone. You press your gloved hand against its surface, slick with marine growth, yet still distinctly planar. Below, colossal rectilinear steps descend into the ocean's depths, carved with a geometry that feels impossibly intentional. Your dive light struggles to illuminate the full extent of this submerged edifice, but the recurring patterns of right angles, terraced levels, and what appear to be deliberate drainage channels are undeniable. This is the heart of the geologist's dilemma at Yonaguni. Mainstream geology largely argues these formations are pareidolia, our minds imposing order on natural processes. They cite the inherent jointing patterns of the sandstone, how millennia of seismic activity and erosion could, over vast spans of time, create rectilinear shapes. The powerful ocean currents, they suggest, could carve away softer rock, leaving harder, more angular sections exposed, mimicking stairs or platforms. It's an explanation that upholds the established timelines of human civilization, where such monumental engineering only became possible much later. No evidence of contact with ancient pyramid builders in Egypt or Mesoamerica exists for a site of this purported age. However, many marine archaeologists and researchers examining the Yonaguni monument struggle to reconcile this purely natural explanation with the striking similarities found globally. The meticulous consistency of the angles, the recurring symmetrical features, and the apparent tool marks observed by some divers push beyond simple coincidence. You trace a groove that runs along a seemingly artificial edge, a clean cut that feels too precise for random erosion. If these are indeed artificial, their design reflects the same fundamental architectural principles, stability, scale, and geometric order, that drove pyramid builders on every other continent. The question echoes through the silent water. How could nature alone produce such a consistent, complex design that so perfectly emulates monumental architecture? And if it is man-made, its estimated age, placing it submerged since the end of the last ice age, around 10,000 BCE, speaks to a civilization far more advanced than our current models allow. This independent dating would place it contemporary with sites like Göbekli Tepe, hinting at a global pattern of sophisticated pre-flood cultures. The Yonaguni monument stands as a powerful counter-narrative, forcing us to consider whether our understanding of ancient human capabilities is still too limited, still too bound by land-based archaeological finds, to truly grasp the origins of the global pyramid phenomenon. The ocean holds its secrets close, but the precision of these submerged forms continues to challenge our assumptions. The biting wind whips across the vast, desolate plateau, thin air snatching your breath at nearly 13,000 feet above sea level. Before you, at Pumapunku in the Bolivian Andes, lies not a single towering pyramid, but a scattered landscape of immense, precisely carved stones. These are the remnants of what was once a monumental complex, part of the greater Tiwanaku civilization, conventionally dated to roughly 500 to 1000 CE. You reach out, your fingers finding the cool, impossibly smooth surface of an H-shaped block, one of thousands scattered across the site. This is not limestone, like Giza, nor the volcanic rock of Teotihuacan. These blocks are crafted from andesite and diorite, some of the hardest stones on Earth, materials comparable to granite. Yet, what truly bewilders you are the cuts. You trace a channel so perfectly straight, an internal angle so precise, it feels as if it were cut by a laser or a precision milling machine. These aren't crude chisels at work. These are industrial-level cuts, uniform and flawless, often measured in fractions of a millimeter. Archaeological evidence confirms the immense scale. Single blocks, weighing over 100 tons, transported from quarries miles away, then shaped with this unfathomable accuracy. The precision mystery here transcends even that of Egypt. Mainstream archaeology explains that these highly skilled ancient builders, using primitive tools of harder stone and plenty of time, achieved these feats through persistent grinding, polishing, and a mastery of geometry. But as your eyes examine a perfectly drilled hole, its interior smooth and cylindrical, the question burns: how could such accuracy be achieved with copper chisels and stone hammers? There is no evidence of contact with any other pyramid building culture from across the oceans, yet the dedication to monumental scale, the profound organizational effort, and the unyielding quest for precision link them all. Alternative theories propose that the sheer engineering expertise evident at Pumapunku, particularly the cutting of these intractable stones, points to a lost advanced knowledge, perhaps remnants of a civilization that possessed technologies we do not attribute to this era. Oral traditions from indigenous Andean cultures speak of advanced ancestors who possessed knowledge of sound-based levitation or advanced tools. While mainstream archaeology lacks definitive evidence for such claims, the unexplained precision of Pumapunku's andesite structures continues to inspire wonder, forcing us to consider the limits of our current understanding of human history and ancient technological capabilities. The hum of the electron microscope is the only sound in the sterile laboratory. You lean closer, your eye to the eyepiece, and the familiar, impossibly smooth surface of an andesite sample from Pumapunku resolves into crystalline detail on the screen. The microtexture of the cut face appears. It's not rough, not fractured as if struck by primitive tools. Instead, you see a consistent, almost uniform striation, a microscopic pattern of perfect straight lines and planar surfaces that stretches across the mineral grains. This visual evidence, magnified thousands of times, intensifies the precision mystery. How could ancient builders, using only stone hammers and copper chisels, the archaeological evidence of which is sparse and inconsistent with such precision, achieve such molecular-level exactitude on one of the hardest stones on Earth? The tools we credit them with would typically leave irregular, often crushing marks. Yet here, under the microscope, the cuts suggest a method of carving that far surpasses simple abrasion or percussion. There is no evidence of contact with Old World pyramid builders, yet the meticulousness is a global recurring theme. Mainstream archaeology explains this by emphasizing the extraordinary skill and patience of the ancient workers, coupled with techniques of grinding with abrasive sands and polishing over immense periods. They posit that simple yet endlessly repetitive methods could achieve such results. However, alternative researchers point to these microscopic anomalies as indicators of a lost technology. They question if the consistent, fine striations and flawless internal angles found at Pumapunku hint at an advanced method of stone cutting, perhaps involving high-frequency vibrations or tools with a hardness and precision we currently do not attribute to these cultures. The astronomical knowledge question also gains new depth when considering this micro-precision. The same cultures that aligned massive structures to celestial events also displayed an almost incomprehensible command over materials. Did such profound understanding of the cosmos extend to an equally profound and forgotten understanding of physics and engineering at a granular level? As you pull back from the microscope, the image of those perfect lines etched onto the Andean stone lingers. It suggests that the enigma of the global pyramid builders might not just be about what they built or where, but how. A question that continues to challenge the very foundation of our historical understanding. The Lebanese sun beats down on the ancient quarry, the air shimmering with a dry heat that radiates from the colossal stone around you. Before you lies a monumental block of limestone, larger than a train car, still partially rooted to the earth. This is the legendary Stone of the Pregnant Woman, Hajar al-Hibla, its name a whisper of the impossible task it represents. You run your hand over its rough, sun-warmed surface, feeling the sheer, unyielding mass of something estimated to weigh over 1,000 tons. This is not a pyramid itself, but a single, unprecedented building block, a testament to an ambition that far exceeds even the Great Pyramid's immense stones in individual weight. Archaeological evidence confirms it was quarried for the Baalbek complex, a site of astonishing megalithic construction conventionally attributed to the Roman era. However, the techniques required to move and place such stones remain a profound enigma. How were the Romans, or any known civilization of that period, supposed to extract, transport, and precisely place a block of this magnitude, let alone the even larger trilithon blocks already integrated into the Baalbek platform? There is no evidence of contact with other pyramid building cultures, yet the sheer scale and challenge echo across continents. Mainstream archaeology explains the moving of colossal stones through ingenious use of ramps, levers, and immense coordinated labor. For the Egyptian pyramids or Mesoamerican structures, these methods are plausible, if staggering in their logistical demands. But at Baalbek, the individual weights of these blocks push those explanations to their very limits. The Stone of the Pregnant Woman lies unfinished, a silent monument to an insurmountable challenge, or perhaps to a technology that was simply lost. Alternative theories propose that the builders of Baalbek, much like those at Pumapunku, possessed lost advanced knowledge, perhaps even predating the Romans. Some suggest a global maritime culture once shared advanced engineering principles, or that forgotten methods of sound resonance or anti-gravity were employed to manipulate these weights. While mainstream scholarship requires concrete evidence for such claims, the unexplained precision and the sheer impractical size of these stones invite us to reconsider the capabilities of ancient peoples. The stone dreams of being moved, and we still do not fully comprehend how such a dream could have been conceived, let alone partially realized, by hands long turned to dust. The sun-drenched quarry at Baalbek hums with the phantom echoes of unseen labor. You stand before the stone of the pregnant woman, a colossal block of limestone, still tethered to the earth, its unyielding mass absorbing the ancient heat. Your eyes trace its formidable dimensions, over 20 meters long, 4 meters high, and 4 meters wide. It's an estimated 1,200 tons of solid rock, a single building component that dwarfs the largest stones in any of the world's pyramids. This gargantuan stone, intended for the Roman-era Baalbek complex, introduces a logistical nightmare that challenges conventional archaeological explanations for moving such weights. Archaeological evidence suggests the Romans, with their advanced engineering for their time, utilized rollers, ramps, and immense manpower. Yet, even with these sophisticated methods, moving a single block of this staggering magnitude, let alone the 3 even larger ones known as the trilithon, already integrated into the temple platform, pushes the boundaries of possibility. No known technology from the Roman era, or any era before modern heavy machinery, seems capable of this specific feat. There is no evidence of contact between the Roman builders and the pyramid cultures across the globe, yet the ambition for scale and precision is a recurring, baffling theme. The how here transcends practical architectural logic. The pyramid form is stable, yes, but this is a question of brute force and unknown methods. The precision mystery deepens, not just in cutting the stone, but in the implied accuracy of its placement. The existing trilithon blocks at Baalbek are fitted with the same near-perfect joinery observed in the Great Pyramid and the monolithic structures of Pumapunku, despite their immense individual weight. Mainstream archaeology attributes these feats to immense organizational skill, limitless time, and clever leveraging. However, some researchers, looking at the sheer impossibility, propose alternative theories. They suggest that the builders of the original Baalbek platform, which predates Roman construction, might have possessed lost advanced knowledge or technologies we don't attribute to ancient cultures. Oral traditions from various civilizations speak of advanced ancestors, or even of a global, ancient maritime culture that shared sophisticated engineering principles before a cataclysm erased their direct lineage. The stone of the pregnant woman lies silent, a powerful question mark in the global mystery of monumental architecture, challenging us to consider if our understanding of ancient capabilities is still too limited to truly calculate the echo of its intended journey. The Anatolian plateau stretches endlessly around you, painted in muted ochres and greys by the first tentative light of dawn. The air is sharp, carrying the faint scent of ancient dust and distant time. Before you, emerging from the earth at Göbekli Tepe, rise immense T-shaped pillars, intricately carved with animals and abstract symbols. These megaliths, arranged in vast circular enclosures, represent the world's first known temple, a monumental achievement that predates settled agriculture, Stonehenge, and even the earliest Egyptian pyramids by thousands of years. Archaeological evidence shows Göbekli Tepe dates to approximately 10,000 BCE. Carbon dating and stratigraphic analysis confirm its construction at a time when humanity was thought to be simple hunter-gatherers, not orchestrators of complex, multi-ton stone architecture. These pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, were quarried, transported, and erected with a precision and organizational scale previously unimaginable for this prehistoric era. No evidence of contact with later pyramid building cultures exists, yet the ambition, the massive labor, and the spiritual significance resonate across millennia. This site profoundly challenges conventional narratives of civilization, which posited that settled agriculture led to surplus, which then led to complex societies and monumental building. Göbekli Tepe turns that on its head. Here, monumental construction, a sacred mountain of carved stone, appears to have predated the rise of agriculture. This groundbreaking discovery means the human drive to build large, astronomically aligned structures for religious purposes began far earlier than we ever conceived. If hunter-gatherers could organize to build something this grand, what does that imply about the latent capabilities present in humanity at the very dawn of settled life? The sophistication of Göbekli Tepe, with its elaborate carvings and careful astronomical alignments, echoes the precision and celestial focus seen in later pyramids across the globe. How did these early people possess such complex astronomical knowledge, embedding it into their structures without a developed agricultural need for calendars? Mainstream archaeology continues to unravel the implications, suggesting a deep, inherent human capacity for observation and organization. Yet some researchers explore alternative theories, wondering if Göbekli Tepe hints at remnants of lost knowledge from an even older, pre-cataclysmic civilization, a foundational understanding of monumental building that later, unconnected cultures independently rediscovered, leading to the global phenomenon of pyramids. The dawn light on these ancient stones whispers of a past that is still largely unwritten, a story of human ingenuity that began in profound mystery. The ancient dust of Göbekli Tepe settles on your boots, clinging to the dry air as you stand within one of its monumental enclosures. The colossal T-shaped pillars rise around you, but your gaze drops to the floor, to the layers of earth that once completely buried this extraordinary site. This isn't natural sedimentation. It's a deliberate, monumental act of interment. The air feels heavy with the echoes of a lost intention. Archaeological evidence shows that after perhaps 1,000 years of use, Göbekli Tepe, the world's first known temple, was intentionally covered and buried. Carbon dating of organic materials such as charcoal and animal bone fragments found within this deliberate fill dates to around 8,000 BCE. This means that a civilization capable of quarrying, transporting, and precisely erecting 20-ton megaliths then systematically buried their sacred site. It's a profound, enigmatic act of decommissioning or preservation, unparalleled in its scale for such an early period. No evidence of contact with later cultures like Egypt or Mesopotamia explains this unique behavior, yet the monumental effort mirrors their later building aspirations. Mainstream archaeology suggests this massive burial could reflect a shift in religious beliefs or societal structure as the hunter-gatherer way of life transitioned towards agriculture. Perhaps the sacred function of the site ended, and its builders chose to respectfully cover it, passing its secrets into the earth. However, this raises questions about the sheer scale of the effort involved in covering such a vast complex, an undertaking almost as challenging as its initial construction. It implies an immense, unified labor force driven by a powerful shared purpose. Alternative theories propose a more dramatic reason for the burial. Some researchers suggest it was a desperate attempt to protect and preserve this knowledge from a cataclysm, such as the Younger Dryas impact event, which some evidence suggests impacted Earth around 10th to 800 BCE. If such an event had occurred and severely disrupted human populations, Burying such a monumental site might have been a way to safeguard ancestral knowledge, a time capsule for a future humanity. The idea that these early people possessed advanced astronomical knowledge, as evidenced by pillar alignments, might also suggest they were tracking celestial threats. As you sift the ancient earth through your fingers, you wonder what profound secret these buried stones were meant to protect, a secret now lost to the depths of time. The Andean wind bites at your exposed skin as you stand before the colossal walls of Sacsayhuaman, high above Cusco. The air is thin, sharp with the scent of ancient earth, and the colossal stones absorb the midday sun, radiating a palpable sense of age and enigma. Here the monumentality takes a different form, not a smooth-sided pyramid or a stepped ziggurat, but immense, interlocking polygonal blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, fitted together with a precision that defies belief. You press your palm against a massive stone, feeling the cool, rough texture. Your fingers explore the seams between these irregular giants, finding no mortar, not even a whisper of space where a blade could pass. These are not perfectly uniform blocks, but complex shapes, cut to fit their neighbours with unfathomable exactitude. Archaeological evidence attributes these awe-inspiring walls to the Inca civilization, conventionally dated to the 15th century CE. Carbon dating and stratigraphic analysis confirm this time frame, indicating independent development without known contact to Old World builders. Yet the question remains, how? How did a culture without the wheel, iron tools, or modern machinery achieve such perfection on such an impossible scale? Mainstream archaeology explains this precision through the incredible ingenuity and relentless labour of the Inca. They posit that the builders used harder stones, such as dolerite or quartzite, to pound and abrade the softer limestone or andesite into shape. By meticulously crafting templates, they could ensure each irregular block fit perfectly with its neighbours through a process of trial, error, and immense dedication. It's a testament to human will and organisational prowess, demonstrating how monumental structures can arise from persistent, collective effort. But the sheer, inexplicable precision remains. The way these multi-ton irregular blocks, often with dozens of complex angles, interlock flawlessly suggests more than just patient pounding. It evokes the same sense of lost advanced knowledge that haunts the precise cuts of Pumapunku or the mathematical constants in the Great Pyramid. Some researchers propose that the foundational megalithic layers of Sacsayhuaman may predate the Inca, hinting at an older, forgotten civilization with different tools or methods. Could there be a shared thread of engineering mastery, a common ancient secret to monumental construction, rediscovered or inherited by unconnected civilizations across the globe? As you trace the impossible seams, the walls of Sacsayhuaman whisper of a past that continues to challenge our understanding of ancient human capabilities, leaving a profound and resonant mystery. The biting wind that sweeps across Sacsayhuaman carries with it a faint metallic tang. You run your hand over the impossibly tight joints of a colossal polygonal block, its rough texture giving way to patches of unnatural smoothness. Here, on specific sections of the megalithic walls, you encounter something startling. A glassy, fused surface, almost as if the stone itself has melted and reformed. This phenomenon is known as vitrification, a process requiring temperatures exceeding 1,100 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt sand into glass. Archaeological evidence shows these formidable walls are attributed to the Inca, conventionally dated to the 15th century CE. Independent dating confirms their construction in the high Andes, a monumental achievement of dry stone masonry with no known contact to Old World pyramid builders. Mainstream archaeology typically explains instances of vitrification as the result of intense, localized fires, perhaps during sieges or battles when structures were deliberately burned. The sheer amount of wood needed to sustain such temperatures, focused precisely on these sections of stone, would have been immense. However, the precision mystery deepens when considering these glassy patches. While large fires can cause vitrification, some researchers question the consistency and localized nature of these vitrified surfaces. Could such intense, sustained heat have been generated without leaving other signs of widespread burning or structural damage consistent with accidental fires or crude destructive acts? This question opens the door to alternative theories, suggesting a more deliberate application of extreme heat. Could it be evidence of an unknown ancient technology for shaping or strengthening stone, perhaps using concentrated energy or a lost chemical process? The notion of an advanced lost civilization, or even an ancient global contact, re-emerges. If these vitrified sections were intentional, they would imply a mastery over materials and temperatures far beyond what we typically attribute to societies of the Inca period. Just as the Egyptian and Mesoamerican pyramids showcase remarkable architectural convergence in form and astronomical alignment, this unusual material evidence at Sacsayhuaman hints at a shared thread of engineering sophistication that challenges our assumptions. No evidence of contact yet links this Andean phenomenon to the precise cuts of Pumapunku or the enigmatic mica of Teotihuacan, but the underlying drive to achieve the impossible with stone connects them all, deepening the profound mystery of our ancient past. The fluorescent lights of the University Archive hum, a stark contrast to the ancient winds of Sacsayhuaman. You sit surrounded by dusty tomes and forgotten maps, searching for clues in the meticulous records of archaeological expeditions. Here, amid detailed drawings and early photographs of megalithic sites, a pattern emerges, not of physical pyramids, but of a recurring enigma, the astronomical knowledge woven into their very fabric. Archaeological evidence shows that ancient cultures across the globe, separated by oceans and millennia, independently developed highly sophisticated astronomical understandings. Egyptians, around 2560 BCE, precisely aligned the Great Pyramid of Giza to true north and incorporated alignments to specific stars and solstices. Mesoamerican civilizations like the Maya and the builders of Teotihuacan, 100 CE, developed complex calendars and built pyramids that tracked solstices, equinoxes, and planetary cycles with astonishing accuracy. In Peru, at Corral, 3000 BCE, early structures also show astronomical orientations. Independent dating confirms this knowledge arose separately in each region, with no evidence of contact or knowledge transfer between them. Why did so many unconnected cultures develop such precise astronomical understanding and embed it into their monumental architecture? Mainstream archaeology offers a compelling explanation: convergent evolution in human observation. All agricultural civilizations needed calendars to track seasons for planting and harvesting, leading to an innate human interest in the cyclical movements of the sun, moon, and stars. The visible planets provide universal reference points observable by any culture, regardless of their location. Similar observations, driven by similar agricultural and religious needs, would naturally yield similar knowledge, and subsequently similar architectural responses. However, the precision mystery remains, even in these archives. Some alignments in structures like the Great Pyramid are accurate to fractions of a degree, challenging to achieve even with modern instruments. The complexity of Mayan calendars, far exceeding agricultural necessity, hints at a deeper philosophical engagement with the cosmos. Alternative theories suggest that perhaps some ancient, lost advanced civilization, a global maritime culture, or a society predating known history, shared a foundational astronomical framework worldwide before disappearing. This distributed knowledge would explain the remarkable similarities in celestial alignments across cultures with no known contact, even as mainstream archaeology continues to explore the rational explanations of independent discovery. The dusty pages of the archive, like the silent stones themselves, continue to prompt profound questions about the shared intellectual heritage of humanity. The air in the hushed archival chamber is cool, dry, and carries the faint, sweet scent of aging paper and papyrus. You handle a fragile, sepia-toned photograph of the Turin King list, its ancient hieratic script a whisper from a profound past. This isn't a physical pyramid, but a textual one, a monumental record that hints at a history far grander and more mysterious than our conventional timelines suggest. Archaeological evidence, in the form of these ancient Egyptian king lists, like the Turin papyrus or the fragments of the Palermo stone, meticulously catalogue periods of rule before the very first pharaohs. These records speak of long dynasties of gods and divine kings reigning for thousands of years, followed by periods of mythical beings before the human dynasties of known history began. Similarly, the Sumerian king list from Mesopotamia details an antediluvian epoch where kings ruled for impossibly long reigns before a great flood. Independent dating confirms the historical context of these texts themselves, but their contents span ages far beyond what is conventionally accepted for human civilization. Mainstream archaeology interprets these pre-dynastic periods as mythological, allegorical accounts, reflecting a foundational golden age or divine creation myths rather than literal historical fact. They are seen as symbolic narratives used by later civilizations to legitimize their rule and connect themselves to a divine past. However, the sheer consistency across these ancient texts, from separate cultures with no known contact, detailing these supernaturally long reigns before a cataclysm, presents a fascinating question. What if these lists are not just myth, but fragmented memories of a lost advanced civilization? Some researchers propose that these gods or divine rulers were, in fact, representatives of an ancient, highly sophisticated society, perhaps a global maritime culture or an advanced prehistoric civilization that spread fundamental knowledge worldwide. This would provide an alternative explanation for the striking similarities in pyramid construction, astronomical alignments, and mathematical constants found across unconnected ancient cultures. The precision mystery, the shared engineering feats, the sophisticated celestial observations, all could be echoes of this lost common source, transmitted through fragmented oral traditions and then re-expressed by later societies. These ancient words, preserved in dust and ink, whisper of an origin for the global pyramid phenomenon that challenges our very understanding of prehistory, hinting at forgotten connections between the builders of earth and heaven. The desert stretches infinitely below, a vast canvas of sand and rock as you ascend above the Giza plateau. From this aerial vantage, the three Great Pyramids and the Sphinx unfold beneath you, not as isolated monuments, but as components of an immense, meticulously arranged tableau. The wind whispers softly at this height, carrying no sound from the bustling ground, leaving only the profound silence of scale and geometry. The Great Pyramid of Giza dominates, its massive limestone surfaces still hinting at their original smooth casing, reflecting the early morning light like a beacon. Archaeological evidence shows the Great Pyramid was built around 2560 BCE, a staggering feat of engineering. From this bird's-eye view, its precise orientation to cardinal directions is breathtakingly clear, accurate to within 3/60ths of a single degree. This isn't just about constructing a stable shape, it's about a grand, continent-spanning architectural convergence with precise celestial and terrestrial alignments. Independent dating confirms the rise of these structures in Egypt and similar pyramid forms in Mesopotamia, ziggurats from 3000 BCE, Mesoamerica, Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun from 100 CE, and Peru, Corral from 3000 BCE, all without known contact. The sheer coherence of the Giza complex from above, its internal mathematical constants like Pisa and Phi, often cited as encoded within its dimensions, deepens the mystery of convergent development. Why did separate cultures, across vast oceans and separated by millennia, all develop this profound astronomical knowledge and embed it into their monumental architecture? Mainstream archaeology explains this through universal human ingenuity and practical architectural logic. The pyramid is a stable, efficient form for building high. Furthermore, all agricultural civilizations needed to track celestial movements for calendars, leading to independent development of astronomical observation. The commonality, therefore, arises from shared human challenges and observations. However, some researchers argue that the level of precision at Giza, its near-perfect true north alignment, and the mathematical constants seems too specific for coincidence. They propose alternative history hypotheses, perhaps remnants of a lost advanced civilization, an ancient global maritime culture, or a society predating known history, subtly influenced early builders across the world. This forgotten knowledge, spread before a great cataclysm like the Younger Dryas, could explain the undeniable pattern. As you watch the colossal forms cast long shadows across the ancient sands, the silent geometry of Giza from above inspires a deep wonder, challenging the very limits of our understanding of humanity's shared past and its drive to build monuments that connect earth and heaven. The scorching desert night at Giza descends, stripping away the daytime distractions. You lie on your back, gazing up at the impossibly vast canopy of stars, feeling the ancient dust cool around you. Above, the celestial river of the Milky Way arcs, a familiar sight to every civilization that ever built a pyramid. Your mind now aligns with the ancient astronomers, tracing the paths of stars that once dictated ritual and construction. It's a profound connection across time, reflecting the shared astronomical knowledge found in pyramid cultures around the globe. Archaeological evidence shows that the builders of the Great Pyramid of Giza, 2560 BCE, engineered its northern shaft to align with Thuban, a star in the constellation Draco, which was the pole star of their era. Similarly, Mesoamerican pyramids, like those of the Maya throughout Central America, emerged independently and exhibit precise alignments to Venus, the Pleiades, and the solstices and equinoxes, often marking specific calendrical events. Peruvian pyramids at Corral, 3000 BCE, also demonstrate early astronomical orientations. Independent dating confirms these celestial observations arose distinctly in each region with no evidence of contact yet, a remarkable architectural convergence driven by a shared interest in the cosmos. The question then emerges, how did separate ancient cultures develop such sophisticated astronomical understanding, allowing for these precise pyramid alignments? Mainstream archaeology points to the universal human experience of observing the night sky. All early agricultural civilizations, from Egypt to the Andes, needed accurate calendars to track seasons for planting and harvesting. This practical necessity naturally led to meticulous study of the sun, moon, and visible planets, which provide universal reference points observable by any culture. Similar observations over generations would logically yield similar advanced knowledge independently. Yet, the precision mystery remains intriguing. Some of these alignments are accurate to fractions of degrees, suggesting not just observation, but sophisticated mathematics and long-term data collection. Alternative theories suggest that this shared astronomical knowledge might be a legacy of a lost advanced civilization, perhaps an ancient global maritime culture that once disseminated a fundamental understanding of celestial mechanics worldwide. This would explain the undeniable pattern of precise cosmic orientations in monumental architecture across unconnected cultures, hinting at forgotten connections between civilizations. As you gaze at the unchanging stars, you wonder about the universal human impulse to connect Earth to heaven, and whether the sky holds secrets to our profound and shared past. The vast digital globe spins slowly before you, a blue marble against the dark. As you zoom in, points of light bloom across continents: Egypt, Mexico, Peru, China, each a pyramid, each a monumental question. The soft hum of the projection fills the room as you trace lines that connect these seemingly disparate sites, from the Giza Plateau to Teotihuacan, from the ziggurats of Mesopotamia to the earthen mounds of China. It's an aerial dance of monumental geometry, a pattern emerging from the disparate locations of humanity's greatest ancient structures. Archaeological evidence shows pyramids appeared independently across Egypt, Mesopotamia, Mesoamerica, China, Peru, and Nubia, spanning oceans and millennia. The Great Pyramid of Giza arose around 2560 BCE. Mesopotamian ziggurats date to 3000 BCE. Peruvian pyramids at Corral also from 3000 BCE, and Mesoamerican pyramids from the Common Era. Independent dating confirms these structures developed without known contact or knowledge transfer. Yet, the striking similarities endure: massive scale, precise orientation to cardinal directions, astronomical alignments, and a profound religious significance connecting earth and divine realms. This global distribution, this undeniable pattern, prompts a daring question: is there an underlying, perhaps invisible, logic connecting these sites? Some researchers explore the hypothesis of a global grid, an ancient planetary network or energy matrix, where pyramids and other megalithic structures were intentionally placed as markers or conduits. This theory suggests that ancient peoples, perhaps guided by lost advanced knowledge, understood Earth energies or geometric principles on a planetary scale. These points of remarkable architectural convergence, often aligned to celestial phenomena, might also be aligned to each other, forming a vast, intricate terrestrial web. Mainstream archaeology explains the independent appearance of pyramids and their shared features as convergent evolution in architecture. Facing similar challenges of building monumental structures and observing the same celestial bodies, cultures independently arrived at similar solutions. The pyramid is a stable, effective form. However, alternative historians point to the precision mystery, suggesting the recurring mathematical constants, astronomical alignments, and the sheer engineering audacity across unconnected cultures are too specific for coincidence. Could this global grid, dismissed by many as lacking direct evidence, be a forgotten legacy of an advanced civilization, a blueprint for monumental construction spread worldwide before disappearing due to cataclysm? The digital map, now crisscrossed with hypothetical lines, continues to inspire wonder, asking if the pattern we perceive is merely human pattern-seeking, or a profound hint at forgotten connections. The cool, artificial glow of the digital map now sharpens, pulling your focus to a singular point of light: the precise geographic coordinates of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The global grid from our previous chapter now contracts, focusing on a single, astonishing numerical convergence. It's a silence that speaks louder than any whisper, hinting at a knowledge far beyond what we typically assign to these ancient builders. Here, at 29 to 197.92458 degrees north latitude, the Great Pyramid sits with an unsettling precision. This number, when observed closely, is a sequence that some researchers find profoundly compelling. Archaeological evidence shows the Great Pyramid was built around 2560 BCE, a massive limestone structure aligned to true north with incredible accuracy. Independent dating confirms its ancient lineage. Yet this particular set of digits, its latitude, mirrors almost exactly the speed of light in a vacuum, 299,762,458 meters per second. This is not a physical alignment to a star, but an apparent encoding of a fundamental constant of the universe into the planet's very fabric through the pyramid's position. Mainstream archaeology explains this as a fascinating numerical coincidence. With enough significant numbers and measurements, it's inevitable to find patterns that appear meaningful, particularly when working with modern units like meters and seconds that did not exist in ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptians possessed advanced astronomical knowledge for their time, but there is no evidence to suggest they had a scientific understanding of the speed of light or a global geodetic system capable of placing a structure with such exactitude. This precision, they argue, is a modern projection onto an ancient marvel. However, alternative historians point to this precision mystery as evidence of a lost advanced civilization. They question, if these are merely coincidences, why do they appear so frequently and compellingly across disparate ancient structures? Could the architects of Giza have possessed a profound, forgotten understanding of mathematics and the physical properties of Earth, perhaps even the speed of light, placing their monuments as indelible markers? This would connect the precision of their engineering and astronomical alignments to a deeper, unified body of knowledge, a global wisdom shared by an ancient global maritime culture before cataclysm erased its direct memory. The latitude of the Great Pyramid, a silent sequence of numbers, continues to echo, inspiring wonder at the tantalizing possibility of a forgotten global intelligence. The thin, biting wind of the Altiplano whips around you, carrying the scent of dry earth and distant snow. You stand before the monumental gate of the sun at Tiwanaku, high in the Bolivian Andes, the ancient city of colossal stones now bathed in the harsh, clear light of midday. Your gaze is drawn to the central figure carved into its immense stone lintel, the staff god, a powerful deity holding two staffs, his face often depicted with tears, adorned with zoomorphic elements. He presides over a pantheon of winged attendants, a silent guardian of this remarkable site. Archaeological evidence dates the peak of the Tiwanaku civilization to roughly 501,000 CE, making it a powerful Andean precursor to the Inca, and its monumental structures, including the nearby Pumapunku, exhibit an astonishing level of stone craftsmanship. Independent dating confirms Tiwanaku's emergence without known contact to Old World pyramid-building cultures or even other Mesoamerican civilizations like the Maya. Yet the staff god figure bears a striking, almost haunting resemblance to similar deities found across disparate ancient cultures. Viracocha in Peru, Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica, and even symbolic echoes in Old World mythologies of culture heroes who brought knowledge to humanity after a great flood or cataclysm. Mainstream archaeology explains this recurring iconography as a powerful example of convergent cultural evolution. Across the globe, early agricultural societies often revered deities associated with the sky, weather, or agriculture, personifying the forces that govern their survival. The staff god archetype could represent a universal human need to deify knowledge givers or cosmic order, independently arising from similar spiritual and societal needs. The holding of staffs might symbolize authority or a connection to fertility and agricultural cycles. However, the precision and the specific, complex symbolism of the staff god, a figure seemingly bringing civilization or order, inspire alternative interpretations. Some researchers propose that this recurring figure found across unconnected ancient cultures is not mere coincidence, but a fragmented memory of a lost, advanced civilization. Could this be a shared ancestral myth, passed down orally and through symbolism, representing a global maritime culture or an advanced prehistoric society that disseminated foundational knowledge worldwide, including the principles of monumental building and astronomical understanding, before disappearing due to a cataclysm? The enduring mystery of the staff god, carved in enduring stone, asks if our collective human memory holds a deeper, forgotten connection. The air within the flickering candlelight of the ancient chamber is thick with the scent of aged papyrus and forgotten incantations. Your fingers trace a faded diagram depicting the staff god from Tiwanaku, a figure etched into the gate of the sun, believed to have brought law and order to the Andean people. Now, cast your mind across a vast, ocean-separated span of continents to the ancient lands of Mesopotamia. Here, another enigmatic figure emerges from deep antiquity, Oannes, a being described in cuneiform tablets as half man, half fish, who rose from the Persian Gulf to bestow upon humanity the arts of civilization, writing, and the very principles of building. Archaeological evidence shows the staff god archetype, or a culture hero figure, appears across numerous unconnected ancient cultures, from Viracocha in Peru to Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica, and the Sumerian Oannes. Independent dating confirms these mythologies arose distinctly within their respective regions. Yet their shared role as bringers of knowledge, agriculture, and the very foundations of civilization, including monumental construction, is a remarkable cultural convergence. No evidence of direct contact has ever been found between these disparate cultures, leading to a profound mystery. Why this universal human narrative? Mainstream archaeology explains these recurring figures as universal archetypes, reflecting shared human psychology and the independent development of complex societies. As different early civilizations emerged from chaos, they independently created myths of divine or semi-divine beings who taught them how to build, cultivate, and govern. These narratives satisfied the human need to explain the origins of advanced knowledge and the profound shift from primitive life to structured civilization. The pyramid shape itself, a symbol of connection between earth and heaven, would naturally align with such figures. However, the precision mystery surrounding the global pyramid phenomenon, the identical astronomical alignments, and mathematical constants encoded in their dimensions, challenges a purely independent origin for such complex shared narratives. Alternative historians propose a more audacious theory. These are not merely myths, but fragmented, allegorical memories of a lost, advanced civilization, perhaps a global maritime culture or an advanced prehistoric society that spread foundational knowledge worldwide before disappearing due to a cataclysm like the Younger Dryas impact. This would explain the precise similarities in pyramid technology and astronomical understanding across unconnected cultures, all attributed to these culture heroes who, in turn, inspired the drive to build monuments connecting earth and divine realms. The figures of Viracocha and Oannes, seemingly echoes of a shared, distant memory, whisper of a truth more profound than mere coincidence, a forgotten connection between civilizations. The cool, damp air of the hypogeum in Malta wraps around you, heavy with the weight of ancient silence. You stand in a subterranean labyrinth carved entirely from solid rock, a monumental feat of engineering dating back over 5,000 years. Your voice, normally swallowed by open spaces, reverberates through the chambers with an uncanny resonance. It's a structure not built up like a pyramid, but carved down. Yet its purpose and sophisticated design offer another profound layer to the global mystery of ancient monumental construction. Archaeological evidence shows The hypogeum, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, was excavated and used between approximately 4000 and 2500 BCE, making it contemporary with the earliest Egyptian pyramids and Mesopotamian ziggurats. Independent dating confirms its independent development without any known contact with those distant cultures. Its function was diverse: a necropolis, a sanctuary, a site for oracle consultation. But what truly captivates you are its acoustic properties. Specific chambers, particularly the oracle room, possess remarkable sound-enhancing qualities, amplifying low-frequency male voices to fill the entire complex. Mainstream archaeology explains these acoustic properties as either accidental byproducts of the architectural design or as deliberate features used in ancient rituals. The careful shaping of the ceilings and walls would naturally create resonant spaces. The religious significance is clear. Imagine ancient priests speaking to their supplicants, their voices booming with divine authority, connecting the earthly and divine realms, a function shared by the pyramids. The precision of carving, using basic stone and bone tools, is attributed to immense patience and skill over generations. However, the precision mystery here isn't just about sound. It's about the very material removed from the earth. The hypogeum represents a monumental negative space, an inverted pyramid of sorts, where massive amounts of rock were precisely excavated. Alternative theories suggest that the ancient Maltese, in shaping these resonant chambers, possessed a lost advanced knowledge of acoustics or geomancy, perhaps even a forgotten connection to a global understanding of sound and energy found in other ancient sites. Could this resonant architecture, like the astronomical alignments of pyramids, be a clue to a deeper, shared scientific or spiritual understanding predating known history? As you stand in the echoing silence, the very air hums with questions about the forgotten intentions and extraordinary capabilities of these ancient builders. The sweltering humidity of the Yucatan jungle presses around you, thick with the cries of unseen birds and the scent of ancient stone. Before you rises El Castillo, the majestic pyramid at Chichen Itza, its 9-stepped terraces climbing towards the intense blue sky. You join a small group gathered at its base, clapping your hands. The sound echoes back, not as a simple rebound, but transformed, a distinct, high-pitched chirp, uncannily mimicking the sacred Quetzal bird, a sound that seems to emanate directly from the pyramid itself. Archaeological evidence shows this Mayan pyramid, dating to roughly 800–1200 CE, was a monumental temple dedicated to Kukulkan, the feathered serpent deity. Its construction demonstrates sophisticated astronomical knowledge, with 91 steps on each of its 4 sides, plus the top platform, totaling 365, one for each day of the year. This precision, combined with the equinox serpent shadow phenomenon, confirms the Mayas' mastery of celestial observation, developed independently, with no evidence of contact with the acoustic architects of Malta or the stonemasons of Egypt. Yet, the intentional manipulation of sound, the deliberate creation of resonant spaces, now links this New World pyramid to ancient sites across the globe. Mainstream archaeology explains the Quetzal chirp as a remarkable acoustic fluke, an accidental byproduct of the pyramid's stepped geometry. The specific rises and treads of the staircase, they argue, act like a diffraction, grating, filtering, and amplifying certain frequencies from a handclap or shout, unintentionally producing the bird-like sound. This practical architectural convergence is seen as a fascinating, unforeseen benefit, perhaps later incorporated into ritual, but not initially designed with advanced acoustic physics in mind. However, the precision mystery begs a deeper look. Was it truly accidental, or did the Maya, much like the builders of the Maltese hypogeum with its resonant chambers, possess a lost advanced knowledge of acoustics. The fact that the sound so perfectly mimics a revered sacred bird seems too poetic for mere chance. Alternative theories propose that these shared acoustic phenomena across unconnected ancient cultures, from underground labyrinths to towering pyramids, hint at a universal understanding of sound and resonance that formed a part of lost ancient knowledge. Could this be evidence of a forgotten connection, a global pattern of sophisticated builders who understood not just the visible geometry of stone, but its invisible energetic and auditory properties? The echo of the Quetzal's cry at Chichen Itza leaves you wondering if these ancient architects were communicating with more than just the gods, but with the very fabric of reality itself. The thin, sharp air of the Altiplano bites at your cheeks, carrying the scent of icy mountain peaks and the vast, freshwater expanse of Lake Titicaca. You stand on its shores at nearly 12,500 feet, where the ancient world feels palpably close. The sun reflects off the deep blue, shimmering on the reed boats of the Uros, a living echo of traditions stretching back millennia. This sacred lake, a cradle of Andean civilization, holds myths of creation and knowledge givers, linking it profoundly to the global pyramid mystery. Archaeological evidence shows the cultures around Lake Titicaca, notably the Tiwanaku, flourished from around 500 CE, erecting monumental stone structures, including stepped platforms that function as pyramids. Even earlier, further north in Peru, sites like Caral, 3000 BCE, prove South American pyramid building emerged independently, contemporary with Egypt's Old Kingdom. Independent dating confirms a rich history of monumental construction in the Andes, with no known contact with the pyramid builders of Mesoamerica, Mesopotamia, or Egypt. Yet as we explored, the staff god of Tiwanaku shares striking similarities with culture heroes across the globe. It is here, at Titicaca, that many indigenous oral traditions place the origin of their advanced knowledge. They speak of Viracocha, a figure often associated with the staff god, emerging from the lake after a great cataclysm, bringing civilization and the skills of monumental building. This narrative resonates with the Mesopotamian myth of Oannes, a fish-like being who emerged from water to teach humanity. Mainstream archaeology often explains these parallels as convergent mythology, where disparate cultures independently create similar narratives to explain the origins of complex knowledge. They observe the same universal challenges and experiences, leading to similar cultural responses. However, the precision mystery and the sheer scale of ancient monumental feats, combined with these pervasive origin myths, compel alternative questions. Could the legend of Viracocha and similar figures be a memory of an ancient global maritime culture that once traversed the oceans? The enduring tradition of building ingenious reed boats on Lake Titicaca, capable of impressive voyages as demonstrated by modern expeditions, hints at early long-distance seafaring capabilities. This would provide a forgotten mechanism for ancient global contact, potentially spreading a foundational knowledge that later unconnected civilizations independently interpreted into pyramid architecture and origin myths. The serene waters of Lake Titicaca, reflecting the vast sky, quietly ask if our planet's ancient history is more interconnected than we dare to imagine. The biting wind off Lake Titicaca carries the spray of the deep blue water as you walk its ancient shores. The sky stretches infinitely above, and the vastness of the Altiplano evokes a sense of timelessness. Here, in the heart of Andean tradition, you hear the indigenous oral traditions speak of a cataclysm that reshaped the world. They tell of a great flood that submerged lands and wiped away civilizations, leaving only a few survivors to rebuild. This memory of a global deluge, echoed across diverse cultures, presents a profound challenge to our understanding of ancient history and the global pyramid phenomenon. Archaeological evidence shows the Tiwanaku civilization, flourishing near Lake Titicaca from around 500 CE, built monumental stepped platforms and left behind intricate artwork depicting floods and aquatic imagery. Earlier, in Peru, sites like Caral, 3000 BCE, arose from coastal areas. Independent dating confirms the local emergence of these cultures, yet the striking similarity of their flood narratives to those of other unconnected civilizations is undeniable. The Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh, dating to 2100 BCE, describes a global deluge and a single ark builder. The biblical flood of Noah, the Deucalion myth in Greece, the Pangu flood in China, and countless indigenous myths across Mesoamerica and North America all speak of a great water event that reset human history. Mainstream archaeology largely explains these widespread flood myths as a form of convergent storytelling. Flooding is a universal and catastrophic natural phenomenon, particularly in riverine and coastal civilizations. As different cultures experienced local deluges, they independently incorporated these traumatic events into their foundational myths, often attributing them to divine punishment or cosmic cycles. The pyramid form, by extension, could be seen as an architectural response to such threats, a way to build structures that rise above the waters, connecting survivors to the heavens. However, the precision mystery surrounding the global pyramid phenomenon, the consistent astronomical alignments, the mathematical constants, and the shared architectural ambition, coupled with the near-universal memory of a great flood, compels alternative theories. Could these not be isolated local floods, but fragmented human memories of a single global cataclysm? Geological evidence, such as the Younger Dryas impact event around 10,800 BCE, provides a plausible mechanism for such a global event, leading to rapid sea level rise and environmental devastation. This would imply that a lost advanced civilization or an ancient global maritime culture, responsible for spreading foundational knowledge and inspiring pyramid construction, was wiped out, leaving only mythical echoes and monumental ruins as its legacy. The calm waters of Lake Titicaca, despite their serenity, hold the chilling memory of a world irrevocably changed. The pre-dawn chill still grips the stones as you ascend the steps of El Castillo at Chichen Itza, its massive form silhouetted against the indigo sky. The air is quiet, holding its breath for the celestial spectacle. Your fingers trace the worn glyphs on the pyramid's side, feeling the history etched into the limestone. As the sun begins its slow ascent, casting its first golden rays, you position yourself to witness the famous serpent shadow, a precise play of light and geometry that descends the northern staircase, marking the equinox with breathtaking accuracy. Archaeological evidence shows this Maya pyramid, built between 800 and 1200 CE, is a masterwork of celestial clockwork. Its 365 steps, representing the days of the year, and its intricate alignments to solstices and equinoxes, speak volumes of the Mayas' sophisticated understanding of astronomical phenomena. Independent dating confirms these Mesoamerican pyramids emerged distinctly, with no known contact with Egypt. Yet the Great Pyramid of Giza, 2560 BCE, also aligns with stunning precision to true north and specific stars. Mesopotamian ziggurats, 3000 BCE, likewise served as observatories, connecting earthly rituals to the heavens, as did Peruvian pyramids at Caral, 3000 BCE. This widespread, precise astronomical integration is a remarkable architectural convergence. Why did so many unconnected cultures independently decide to embed such complex celestial knowledge into their most monumental structures? Mainstream archaeology explains this through the practical necessity of agricultural societies. All early civilizations relied on accurate calendars for planting, harvesting, and predicting seasonal changes. The sun, moon, and visible planets were universal reference points, leading to independent development of sophisticated observational astronomy. The pyramid, as a stable, tall structure, naturally served as an ideal platform for these observations, solving a universal problem through convergent evolution in architecture. However, the precision mystery deepens when considering the sheer accuracy. The Great Pyramid's alignment to true north is within a fraction of a degree. The Mayas' calendrical systems were incredibly complex, far exceeding basic agricultural needs. These parallels seem too specific for simple coincidence. Alternative theories explore whether this shared, profound astronomical understanding is a legacy of a lost advanced civilization, an ancient global maritime culture, or an advanced prehistoric society that disseminated a foundational knowledge of celestial mechanics worldwide before a cataclysm erased direct memory. As the serpent shadow undulates down the pyramid's face, you wonder if these monuments are not just calendars, but echoes of a forgotten, shared celestial wisdom, a silent, monumental clockwork spanning continents and millennia. The oppressive heat of an Egyptian afternoon fades into the cool, dark interior of the Temple of Hathor at Dendera. You stand beneath the replica of the Dendera zodiac, a circular relief depicting constellations and astrological symbols. The original, now in the Louvre, once adorned this temple ceiling. Your gaze traces the familiar figures of the zodiac, Leo, Taurus, Gemini, but intermingled with Egyptian deities and symbols, creating a tapestry of celestial wisdom that feels both ancient and universally resonant. Archaeological evidence dates the Temple of Hathor itself to the Greco-Roman period, around the 1st century BCE. Independent dating confirms its relatively late construction within Egyptian history. However, some researchers argue the astronomical knowledge encoded within the zodiac itself hints at far older observations, perhaps even reflecting the precession of the equinoxes, a slow wobble of the Earth's axis that shifts the apparent position of stars over thousands of years. Such knowledge would require continuous, precise observation over vast spans of time. No evidence of direct contact with the Maya, with their complex calendars, exists, yet the shared interest in charting the deepest cycles of the cosmos is striking. Mainstream archaeology interprets the Dendera zodiac as a sophisticated, yet entirely Egyptian and Greco-Roman representation of known astronomical and astrological systems of the time. The Egyptians were masters of sky watching, developing calendars and astronomical alignments for their pyramids and temples, primarily for religious and agricultural purposes. The zodiac's inclusion of familiar constellations is seen as a synthesis of Egyptian and Hellenistic astronomical traditions, a remarkable cultural exchange. It speaks to the independent development of complex astronomical knowledge within distinct civilizations. However, the precision mystery, particularly the potential encoding of the precession cycle, a phenomenon that takes approximately 25,220 years to complete, challenges a purely localized or short-term observation. How could cultures separated by oceans and millennia from the Great Pyramid, 2560 BCE, aligned to specific pole stars, to Mesoamerican pyramids, 100 CE, tracking planetary movements, to this Egyptian zodiac, all display such profound and possibly ancient celestial knowledge? Alternative theories suggest this universal understanding of the cosmic clockwork is a legacy of a lost advanced civilization, an ancient global maritime culture that shared a foundational astronomical framework worldwide. This forgotten knowledge, inspiring monumental architecture everywhere, would explain the undeniable pattern. The silent symbols of the Dendera zodiac, like the global pyramids, whisper of a unified wisdom that still awaits its full decoding. The salty Atlantic wind whips your hair as you walk the ancient landscape of Karnak, France, a place where time feels less like a river and more like an ocean. its waves depositing monumental secrets. Before you, stretching for miles across the emerald fields, stand thousands of silent megaliths, great rough-hewn stones driven deep into the earth. The sheer scale is breathtaking, a monumental gesture of an unknown purpose, older than the pyramids of Egypt and the ziggurats of Mesopotamia. You reach out, touching the weathered granite, feeling the cold, rough weight of a forgotten language etched into the very fabric of the land. Archaeological evidence shows these vast alignments, numbering in the tens of thousands, dating to approximately 4500 BCE. They were erected by Neolithic peoples long before the Bronze Age, and without any known contact with the nascent civilizations building their first monumental structures across the globe. Carbon dating and stratigraphic analysis confirm their ancient lineage, proving their independent development. Yet, the similarities to the global pyramid phenomenon are striking. A massive scale demanding sophisticated organization, a profound commitment of collective labor, and an implied connection to the cosmos. Why this obsession with monumental stone, this universal urge to reshape the landscape with such audacity? Mainstream archaeology explains the Karnak alignments as ceremonial complexes, perhaps processional routes, or sophisticated astronomical observatories. The lines of stones, often oriented to solstices and equinoxes, likely served as calendrical devices for an agricultural society, tracking the sun and moon cycles to predict seasonal changes crucial for survival. The colossal effort to quarry, transport, and erect these multi-ton stones, some standing over 20 feet tall, is attributed to collective human ingenuity using simple levers, ropes, and earth ramps, demonstrating a remarkable practical architectural logic. Different cultures, facing similar fundamental needs to organize time and space, independently arrived at similar solutions. However, the precision mystery here is not in the fine cutting of stone, but in the vast, almost incomprehensible accuracy of the layout itself. How are thousands of individual stones precisely aligned over such vast, undulating terrain without advanced surveying equipment? Some researchers, looking beyond conventional explanations, explore alternative history hypotheses. They propose these megaliths, much like the pyramids, could be remnants of a lost advanced knowledge, a global understanding of Earth energies, or geometric principles on a planetary scale. Oral traditions across diverse cultures speak of wise ancestors or knowledge givers who predated known history. The silent stones of Karnak, like a vast unread text, continue to speak of a profound, shared intelligence that echoed across unconnected ancient cultures, demanding we ask if this monumental language is one of independent invention or of forgotten connections between civilizations. The air within the Grand Gallery of the Great Pyramid of Giza is strangely still, cool, and carries the faint scent of ancient stone. As you ascend its impossibly precise, corbelled passage, your hand brushes against the polished limestone. This intricate internal architecture, with its shafts, chambers, and precise angles, feels less like a simple tomb and more like a finely tuned instrument. This perspective of the pyramid as a complex, functional machine, rather than just a monument, adds a new dimension to the global mystery. Archaeological evidence shows the Great Pyramid, built around 2560 BCE, is far more than a stacked pile of stones. It incorporates astounding internal features, air shafts aligned to specific stars, and dimensions that encode mathematical constants like pi and phi with remarkable accuracy. While Egyptologists attribute these to religious beliefs and a sophisticated understanding of geometry, the question of a deeper, functional purpose persists. This resonates with other global sites. The resonant chambers of Malta, 4,500 BCE, that amplify sound, and the Quetzal chert produced by Chichen Itza's staircase, 800–1200 CE. Though independent dating confirms these cultures arose separately, with no evidence of contact, their architectural ingenuity hints at shared, profound principles. Mainstream archaeology explains these internal complexities and acoustic phenomena as either purely ceremonial, designed to enhance religious experiences, or as coincidental outcomes of construction methods. For example, the Great Pyramid's shafts are interpreted as passages for the pharaoh's soul, and the acoustic properties of Chichen Itza a fortunate auditory side effect. The very form of the pyramid, stable and reaching to the heavens, aligns with its primary functions as a tomb, a temple, and a symbol of cosmic connection. However, the precision mystery and the recurrence of these sophisticated design elements across unconnected ancient cultures compels some researchers to explore alternative theories. They propose that pyramids, in their fundamental form and internal design, might have been machines of a forgotten technology. Perhaps they harnessed earth energies, generated specific frequencies, or served as communication devices, or even as repositories of advanced knowledge from a lost civilization that predates known history. The mica found in Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun, with its unique electrical properties, adds another layer to this functional hypothesis. As you stand within the silent heart of the pyramid, the colossal stones whisper not just of burial and worship, but of an unknown, intricate purpose that continues to challenge our understanding of what these global structures were truly designed to do. The crackling fire casts dancing shadows on the lined faces of the Andean elders. The thin mountain air, sharp and cool, carries the rhythmic cadence of their Quechua words, a language steeped in the memory of millennia. You sit close, feeling the warmth of their presence, listening to the oral traditions that speak not just of their ancestors, but of a time before, a time when civilization was bestowed upon humanity by powerful, wise beings. These aren't tales from textbooks. They are living histories, passed down through generations, hinting at the origins of monumental building. These stories speak of Viracocha, a light-skinned, bearded deity who emerged from Lake Titicaca after a great cataclysm, bringing knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, and the art of stonemasonry. He taught the ancient peoples how to precisely cut and fit massive blocks, inspiring the very structures you've encountered, like the colossal walls of Sacsayhuaman and the enigmatic ruins of Tiwanaku. Archaeological evidence shows Peruvian pyramids at Caral, dating to 3000 BCE, developed independently, contemporary with Egypt's Old Kingdom. Similarly, the Tiwanaku civilization, flourishing from 500 CE, created monumental stepped platforms. Independent dating confirms these South American pyramid builders arose without known contact to Mesoamerican, Mesopotamian, or Egyptian counterparts, yet their origin myths share uncanny parallels. Mainstream archaeology often interprets these oral traditions as valuable cultural narratives, metaphorical explanations for the independent development of complex skills. They serve to legitimize social structures or explain natural phenomena, evolving locally to give meaning to existence. The wisdom of building, farming, and observing the stars would naturally be attributed to powerful, divine figures in nascent civilizations, a common human psychological tendency. However, the precision mystery of the global pyramid phenomenon, the identical astronomical alignments, the mathematical constants, the sheer logistical mastery, intertwined with these consistent tales of knowledge givers after a flood, compels a deeper consideration. Could these not be mere myths, but fragmented, allegorical memories of a lost advanced civilization, a global maritime culture that predated known history and disappeared due to a cataclysm like the Younger Dryas? This foundational knowledge, including the principles of monumental construction and celestial mechanics, might have been passed down, inspiring later unconnected civilizations to independently build pyramids connecting earth and divine realms. The elders' eyes, ancient as the mountains, hold a wisdom that transcends written history, suggesting the greatest secrets of our past might still reside in these resonant, whispered stories. The fire now crackles lower, its embers glowing like ancient eyes in the deepening twilight. The Andean elders continue their quiet stories, their voices a balm against the vast, silent mountains. They speak of the Pachacuti, not just a revolution in time, but a turning over of the world itself, a cataclysm that wiped away a previous age, and from its ashes, new wisdom was imparted. These are not static historical records, but fluid, living traditions, passed from generation to generation, guardians of a profound collective memory. These indigenous oral traditions, whether from the Quechua people of the Andes, the First Nations of North America, or the Aboriginal peoples of Australia, contain remarkably consistent narratives. They recount epochs before the current one, often governed by wise, advanced ancestors or godlike beings who bestowed knowledge of civilization, agriculture, and monumental building. Crucially, these golden ages invariably end in a global cataclysm, a great flood, a fire from the sky, or a dramatic shift in the world's axis, after which humanity had to begin anew, often with guidance from the few surviving knowledge keepers. Archaeological dating proves these traditions are deeply rooted within distinct cultures, independent of each other, with no evidence of contact or shared written histories. Mainstream anthropology views these widespread stories as archetypal myths, universal human responses to common existential questions. All societies grapple with the origins of their existence, the meaning of natural disasters, and the source of their knowledge. These narratives serve to provide cultural identity, moral guidance, and a sense of connection to a sacred past, independently evolving to explain the world around them. The pyramid, as a symbol connecting earth and heaven, perfectly embodies these aspirations within their various mythologies. However, the precision mystery that surrounds the global pyramid phenomenon, the identical astronomical alignments, the baffling engineering feats, and the numerical constants encoded in these ancient structures gains new resonance when viewed through the lens of these oral traditions. Are these consistent stories of knowledge givers and global cataclysms merely convenient fictions, or are they fragmented memories of a lost advanced civilization, an ancient global maritime culture, or a sophisticated prehistoric society that predated known history? Alternative historians argue that geological evidence, like the Younger Dryas impact, provides a tangible mechanism for such a global reset, suggesting these myths are not just stories, but echoes of a profound shared past. The elders, with their whispered histories, invite you to consider if the very origins of the global pyramid builders lie not in independent invention, but in a long-forgotten shared legacy. The biting Arctic wind whips fine snow across your face as you stand before the imposing entrance of the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. Buried deep within a frozen mountainside on a remote Norwegian island, this modern marvel of engineering feels like a futuristic pyramid, a stark grey wedge of concrete and steel thrust into the permafrost. The silence here is absolute, save for the whisper of the wind, carrying a profound sense of purpose. To safeguard humanity's future by preserving the genetic diversity of our crops. You feel the immense, silent weight of global foresight. This contemporary project, designed to protect against global catastrophe, offers a startling modern parallel to the enduring mystery of ancient pyramid construction. While obviously not a temple or tomb, its monumental scale, strategic placement for long-term preservation, and its function as a repository of vital knowledge resonate deeply with the implicit purposes some researchers attribute to ancient pyramids. Archaeological evidence shows pyramids appeared independently across Egypt, 2560 BCE, Mesopotamia, 3000 BCE, Mesoamerica, 100 CE, and Peru, 3000 BCE, each a massive undertaking. Independent dating confirms these cultures arose distinctly with no known contact. Mainstream archaeology explains that ancient pyramids primarily served as tombs for elites, temples for deities, or astronomical observatories. Their stable, geometric form was a practical solution for monumental height, reflecting power and connecting the earthly realm to the divine. This practical architectural logic is seen as a compelling explanation for their widespread, independent development. The sheer logistical effort, however, hints at more than simple practicalities. It speaks of a profound, collective ambition. But the Svalbard Vault, a modern pyramid of knowledge, forces us to consider an alternative theory for these ancient structures. What if some ancient pyramids and megalithic sites, like Göbekli Tepe, 10,000 BCE, which was deliberately buried, were also intended as repositories, time capsules, or safe havens for knowledge in anticipation of cataclysm? The widespread oral traditions of a great flood, geological evidence of events like the Younger Dryas impact, and the enigmatic precision of ancient construction like the Great Pyramid's latitude or Puma Punku's cuts suggest a shared, profound awareness of planetary vulnerability. Could the global pyramid phenomenon reflect not just the ambition to reach the heavens, but also a deep-seated human impulse to preserve civilization from impending doom, leaving behind a coded legacy of lost ancient knowledge for future generations? As the permafrost cradles the seeds, you ponder if our ancestors, in their monumental stone, did something remarkably similar. The biting Arctic air outside the Svalbard Vault fades as you step further into its sterile, hushed interior. The heavy, insulated doors seal off the world, and you are surrounded by row upon row of shelves holding countless vials of frozen seeds. It is a monument to a future yet uncertain, a library of life preserved against the spectre of global catastrophe. You feel the profound weight of this modern endeavour, a desperate yet hopeful message for future generations. This contemporary act of preservation offers a striking conceptual mirror to the ancient pyramid phenomenon. While modern, the vault shares undeniable similarities with the implicit, enduring functions some researchers attribute to ancient pyramids: a monumental scale, strategic placement for long-term survival, and a profound commitment to safeguarding knowledge. Archaeological evidence shows pyramids like the Great Pyramid of Giza, 2560 BCE, Mesopotamian ziggurats, 3000 BCE, and Mesoamerican pyramids, 100 CE, were built to endure, incorporating precise astronomical alignments and internal chambers. Independent dating confirms their distinct origins, yet the commonality of such enduring, knowledge-rich structures is a remarkable architectural convergence. Mainstream archaeology explains pyramids primarily as tombs, temples, or astronomical observatories built with immense skill and organized labor. The precision, the alignments, the mathematical constants are attributed to religious belief, social cohesion, and the independent development of sophisticated engineering and celestial observation. From this perspective, the message is one of cultural power and divine connection, a record of the builders' beliefs for their gods and posterity. However, the Svalbard Vault compels us to ask, could ancient pyramids also be deliberate messages for the distant future? Alternative theories suggest that a lost advanced civilization, perhaps aware of cyclical cataclysms like the Younger Dryas impact, chose these monumental forms as enduring repositories. The precision mystery, the Great Pyramid's latitude, encoding the speed of light, its mathematical constants, the precise astronomical alignments shared across unconnected cultures, could be intentionally encoded data, a kind of time capsule designed to transmit vital knowledge beyond a global reset. These structures, like Svalbard, might be silent warnings or profound instructions from a long-lost culture, waiting for humanity to rediscover their true meaning. As you walk among the frozen seeds, you wonder if the global pyramid phenomenon represents not just a connection to the divine, but a profound, ancient message intended for you. The desert wind, which earlier whispered tales of distant sands, now softens to a sigh as the sun begins its dramatic descent over the Great Pyramid. You stand before its colossal bulk, the limestone blocks shifting from ochre to fiery orange, then to a deep, bruised violet as shadows lengthen. The monumental scale feels even more profound in this golden light, a silent, enduring testament to an ancient will. This daily ritual of light and shadow highlights the timeless enigma that binds this structure to countless others across the planet. Archaeological evidence shows this precise, massive limestone pyramid was constructed around 2560 BCE. Its unparalleled alignment to cardinal directions and sophisticated astronomical features, like the shaft pointing to Thuban, represent an astonishing feat of ancient engineering. Yet, consider the wider tapestry. Mesopotamian ziggurats, dating to 3000 BCE, also rose as stepped temples to connect earth and heaven. In Peru, the pyramids of Caral, contemporary with Egypt's Old Kingdom, 3000 BCE, confirm independent South American pyramid building. Across Mesoamerica, structures like Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun, 100 CE, and Maya temples throughout Central America emerged independently, showcasing precise astronomical alignments akin to Egyptian examples, despite zero known contact. Why this remarkable architectural convergence? Mainstream archaeology explains this through practical architectural logic. The pyramid is an inherently stable structure, allowing ancient cultures to achieve impressive heights with available technology. Its broad base effectively distributes weight, a shape that naturally arises from stacking stones. It is an efficient solution to a universal engineering problem. Just as different cultures independently invented the wheel, pottery, and agriculture, they independently discovered the pyramid form. However, the precision mystery remains. Egyptian and Mesoamerican pyramids both align with uncanny accuracy to cardinal directions and astronomical phenomena, solstice sunrises, equinoxes, star positions. Both cultures independently developed complex astronomical knowledge and incorporated it into their designs for religious and calendrical purposes, requiring massive labor and mathematical precision. The parallels seem too specific for mere coincidence, yet independent dating confirms no evidence of contact. Alternative theories suggest a lost advanced civilization predating known history, a global maritime culture, or an advanced prehistoric society that disseminated a foundational knowledge worldwide before a cataclysm. As the last sliver of sun dips below the horizon, casting the pyramid into stark, geometric silhouette, you are left with the enduring wonder, a universal architectural logic, a shared human psychology, or a forgotten connection between the builders of earth and heaven. The sun dips completely below the horizon, and the Great Pyramid of Giza absorbs the last vestiges of daylight, its colossal form now a silent, geometric sentinel against the deepening indigo sky. You stand at its base once more, but this time your gaze is not on its precision, but its overwhelming mass. Imagine the sheer, unyielding weight. 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons, collectively forming a structure of nearly 6 million tons. It is an impossible mountain of human endeavor, built in a time before the wheel was used for construction, before iron tools, by a civilization over 4,500 years ago. Archaeological evidence shows this staggering project, completed around 2560 BCE, required an immense, highly organized labor force, estimated in the tens of thousands. Independent dating confirms that similar monumental scales of construction arose across the globe without known contact. Mesopotamian ziggurats, 3000 BCE, required massive collective effort to raise their artificial mountains of mud brick. Peruvian pyramids at Corral, 3000 BCE, were built from hundreds of thousands of meticulously placed stones and reed bags. In Mesoamerica, Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun, 100 CE, similarly demanded the mobilization of entire societies. Why did so many unconnected ancient cultures, separated by oceans and millennia, all commit to such profound, labor-intensive, monumental construction? Mainstream archaeology explains this through the immense human capacity for organization, religious devotion, and the demonstration of power. A strong centralized authority, a shared spiritual belief, and a large population could, over decades, achieve these feats using simple yet effective technologies like ramps, levers, and human muscle. The pyramid shape itself, practical for its stability and height, made these colossal projects achievable. It's a remarkable architectural convergence born of common human needs and ingenuity. However, the precision mystery, the sheer audacity of these global building projects continues to inspire alternative questions. The collective drive to move millions of tons of stone, often with an exactitude challenging even modern methods, seems to transcend mere practicality or religious zeal. Alternative theories suggest that this universal impulse for monumental building and the shared knowledge of how to achieve it might be a legacy of a lost advanced civilization, a global maritime culture that influenced nascent societies across the world before disappearing due to a cataclysm. These pyramids, then, would be enduring physical manifestations of a forgotten, shared blueprint. As the weight of ages settles around you, the global pattern of these colossal structures whispers not just of human ambition, but of a profound and enduring mystery, hinting at an interconnected past we are only beginning to comprehend. The crisp, high-altitude air of the Atacama Desert is utterly still, carrying no sound but the faintest whisper of the night wind. You lie back on the ancient, parched earth, gazing upward into a sky so profoundly dark and clear that the stars blaze with an impossible intensity, a jeweled tapestry stretching from horizon to horizon. Here, in one of Earth's clearest windows to the cosmos, you feel a connection to every ancient astronomer who ever lifted their eyes to this universal spectacle. This is the ultimate observatory, a silent stage for the celestial clockwork that inspired pyramid builders across the globe. Archaeological evidence shows that ancient cultures, from Egypt to Mesoamerica, Mesopotamia to Peru, independently developed sophisticated astronomical knowledge. The Great Pyramid of Giza, 2560 BCE, aligned with startling precision to true north and specific stars. Mesoamerican pyramids like Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun, 100 CE, and Maya structures tracked solstices, equinoxes, and planetary cycles with astounding accuracy. Mesopotamian ziggurats, 3000 BCE, served as artificial mountains to observe the heavens, while Peruvian pyramids at Corral, 3000 BCE, also demonstrated early celestial orientations. Independent dating confirms these cultures arose distinctly, with no evidence of contact, yet their shared astronomical interests are a remarkable architectural convergence. Why did these separate civilizations, with no known contact, all arrive at such precise and complex celestial understandings? Mainstream archaeology explains this through convergent human observation. All early agricultural societies required accurate calendars to manage their seasons for planting and harvesting. This practical necessity drove a universal interest in tracking the sun, moon, and visible stars. The cosmos, a shared reference point for all humanity, led independently to similar astronomical knowledge. The pyramid form, with its elevated platform, provided an ideal vantage for these observations, solving a common problem through practical architectural logic. However, the precision mystery remains intriguing. The exactitude of certain alignments, the mathematical constants seemingly encoded in structures like the Great Pyramid, and the sheer depth of calendrical knowledge, especially among the Maya, seem to transcend mere agricultural necessity. Alternative theories suggest that this profound, shared astronomical understanding might be a legacy of lost ancient knowledge, perhaps disseminated by a sophisticated global maritime culture or an advanced prehistoric society before a major cataclysm. Could the breathtaking clarity of the Atacama sky be mirroring a forgotten universal celestial map, an ancient wisdom that resonated with pyramid builders everywhere, urging them to connect earth and heaven with such enduring, precise monuments? The stars, silent and ancient, hold countless secrets about our shared, enigmatic past. The digital map of Earth recedes now, a shimmering blue marble spinning slowly, its surface dotted with countless points of light, each a monumental pyramid, an ancient echo across continents and millennia. You step back, the hum of the projection fading, as you contemplate the vast, undeniable pattern that has unfolded. A shared architectural impulse, separated by oceans and epochs, a profound question etched into the very stones of our past. Archaeological evidence shows these colossal structures appeared independently across Egypt, Mesopotamia, Mesoamerica, China, Peru, and Nubia. From the Great Pyramid of Giza around 2560 BCE, a beacon of precise astronomical alignment and advanced engineering, to Mesopotamian ziggurats dating to 3000 BCE, serving as artificial mountains connecting earth and heaven. Peruvian pyramids at Caral, also from 3000 BCE, emerged contemporary with Egypt's Old Kingdom, proving South American ingenuity. Mesoamerican pyramids like Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun, 100 CE, and Maya temples developed independently, yet mirrored the astronomical precision of their Old World counterparts despite zero known contact. Independent dating confirms this autonomous development through carbon dating, stratigraphy, and artifact analysis across these disparate cultures. Yet, the similarities are striking. All these monumental structures reveal a massive scale, demanding sophisticated organization and immense collective labor. Many exhibit precise astronomical alignments, tracking solstices, equinoxes, and star positions. They carried profound religious significance, connecting earthly and divine realms, serving either as temples or burial sites, and were often meticulously oriented to cardinal directions. This is a remarkable architectural convergence. Mainstream archaeology explains this through practical architectural logic. The pyramid is an inherently stable structure, easy to build to impressive heights with primitive technology, its broad base distributing weight effectively. It is an efficient solution that different cultures discovered independently to solve the problem of monumental construction. But the precision mystery lingers, creating intrigue. The Great Pyramid's stones, fitted without mortar, its mathematical constants encoded within its dimensions, its latitude mirroring the speed of light, these details push beyond simple practicality. The astonishing cuts at Pumapunku, the vitrified stones of Sacsayhuaman, the mica in Teotihuacan, the acoustic properties of Chichen Itza and Malta's hypogеum, these phenomena challenge our understanding of ancient technology. Alternative theories propose lost advanced civilizations, ancient global maritime cultures, or advanced prehistoric societies that spread this foundational knowledge worldwide before a cataclysm, a concept echoed in global flood myths and indigenous oral traditions of knowledge, givers like Viracocha and Oannes. Mainstream archaeology rejects these as lacking direct evidence, yet the sheer, unexplained precision inspires a profound wonder. Every ancient culture that achieved civilization-level organization built pyramids. From Egypt to Peru, Mesopotamia to Mesoamerica, China to Sudan, separated by oceans of millennia, humans independently chose this monumental form. Whether this reflects a universal architectural logic, a shared human psychology drawn to monumental triangular structures, parallel development solving similar challenges, or hints at forgotten ancient connections, the global pyramid pattern reveals something profound about human civilization and our enduring drive to build monuments connecting earth and heaven, leaving an unwritten chapter in our shared history.